It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with our midday broadcast of Expresso as we continue our health discussion on the newest diet trend. Well, it's been around for a while, but we are having our eyes open to it. Intermittent fasting. Clinical dietitian and, as I said, good friend Kath Megaw is still with us. Kath, great to have you here. Great to be discussing something that I think a lot of people have obviously known about for a while now, but we kind of really are honing in on the benefits of intermittent fasting. And maybe you can hit us hard with those health benefits, why this has become such a big popular trend at the moment.
So I think for a lot of people, you know, with the increased risk of metabolic syndrome, which causes a lot of the lifestyle diseases like type 2 diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, it's definitely on the increase. And what intermittent fasting does is kind of reset your metabolic epistat. So it like resets your engine, in other words, of your body.
Why are we not preaching this from the rooftops? Because it does feel kind of like a silver bullet, like this is the answer to so many, like you say, of so many of those woes that have become probably one of the biggest health risks in society.
I think, you know what, in the, like way centuries back, people would literally intermittent fast because there wasn't so much access to food like we have around every street corner. Food places are open 24/7. So intermittent fasting actually was done without people even realizing it. And people would literally start eating later on in the day and they would kind of finish the eating earlier on. But now we extend in our eating period way into the evenings. You know, you would probably only go out for supper some nights, like after 9 o'clock. So I think there's the change in our lifestyle has made us re-look at how we're doing this and hence coin the term intermittent fasting, which is actually a very natural
It's the way we've been doing it for millennia.
Yeah.
What are some of the side effects? I don't want to use the word negative side effects because I know it's a spectrum, but what are some of those side effects of fasting like this?
I think the biggest one for me is if you don't do it with the right mindset and the right understanding and knowledge and possibly good support, you could have, there's a psychological benefit. A negative is probably the biggest concern for me. So it can definitely exacerbate eating disorders where people will literally binge.
I was going to say, is that not the danger that you're feeding into that psychological mindset?
It is very much, and I think that is why you've got to approach it as not that you starve in your body and you're restricting your body. And also, if you feel hungry earlier and you need to respond to that, because that is also what we see in the studies, is that as people reset their metabolic epistat, they actually do start to, for the first time, feel hunger. A lot of people don't feel hungry anymore.
Can't identify because you're satiated. Yeah.
And exactly, you're consistently feeding that brain of food, so you don't actually feel, oh, I'm hungry now, or I'm not hungry.
So we're not looking for a monk-like kind of metal steel to be able to say, okay, if I'm hungry, I've just got to like dispel it. You actually do respond to that. What's the best way of broaching this then? Do we get an app? How do we approach this to keep within the right mental lane as well, but make sure that we're doing it properly, because something like this has to be done according to a prescribed way? What's the best way to get it done?
I think there are a lot of apps out there, and I think that, you know, not all apps are created equal, so just be very wise about what app you're choosing to use. The things that you would look at on the app is what are the type of foods they're suggesting that you kind of break your fast with, and then how do they explain how you eat from there, and does it support you? Is there some psychological support? Some of the apps that I've looked into have some good psychological support where they will actually talk about the things to be concerned about if you start feeling like that restrictive mentality, or you start stopping going to social functions, or you don't go out for breakfast anymore when your friend from the UK, when we're allowed to come from there, comes down, you know, things like that.
So when you love big breakfast, yeah.
When you start to like ostracize yourself from society, you know, little things like that, if it starts to disrupt your normal pattern of living, then it's a big concern.
Thank you so much for prefacing this entire conversation with that, because I think the mental element is a big part on the positive and on the negative side of that conversation. Most important, I think, speak to a Kath. If you've got a dietitian in your life, then incredible advice, and approach it with an open mind, but I think treat your body with love and care and listen to what your body is telling you. We want a bit of mind over matter, but we want to inhabit and enjoy our bodies, and that's what we're going to do right now. Roxy Barton is in the house, so great to see her as well, just adding another name to the list of phenomenal women here today.